Hello and welcome to 97.9 Unity Radio, the best sports show in the 508 and all of Central Massachusetts. This is Moneyline. And with me as always, he can't pay his bills in joy. He won't have to anymore. He's also the voice of reason, the Frank Cristiano.
I'm the only person bringing a sort of an even-keeled sense to this whole process.
You think you're the balanced one?
I am the balance. I am the balance to this whole
you're the balance to everything.
Shindig here.
Okay, that's good to know.
Right.
Fair enough. Then our obviously our greatest influencer. He has 1,024 subscribers on his YouTube channel.
See, he's
25,000. 1,025,000.
He's the upper echelon of what we do. You're the bottom dreg, and I'm the even keel guy. I just sort of
okay. If that's how you're going to name it.
Yeah.
Okay. And he is a legend in his own right, being inducted into a Hall of Fame recently. Is it Palisades Parkway?
Palisades Park.
Palisades Park. Well,
Parkway makes it sound
Dave,
like
Dave, I'm not.
There is a Palisades Parkway.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, there is.
It makes it sound like
it's Palisades. Wait, what is it?
Ceremony of the Thruway.
It's the Palisades.
Palisades.
It's
you
the one
don't
that
even know
takes
what
you
Hall
up
of
to.
Fame you're inducted to.
No, I know Palisades Park, but I'm saying the highway is. The highway goes to up to West Point. I think.
Yes. You're right. It is the Palisades Parkway.
Palisades Thruway or something. I don't know.
It's the Parkway. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, it's Palisades Parkway.
Because I hate it. I hate getting on it. Jersey, there's no rules in driving. I found out.
He's in Hall of Fames all the way in the major New Jersey metropolitan area. I mean, not just one. There's got to be
I'm in Palisades Park Hall of Fame, and I'm in my high school Hall of Fame as an athlete.
Frank, do we have a high school Hall of Fame?
We do not. So we have a couple pictures slapped onto the wall.
Well, Andy Van Slyke,
a couple guys that made pro in baseball. Yeah, that's about it. That's what we have. No organization whatsoever.
I should be in our Hall of Fame.
The administrators in our school, they could care less. We have some fantastic athletes over the past 60 years.
We really did.
And they could care less because I mentioned this.
They could care less.
Yeah, I mentioned this to one of the ADs at one time. I'm like, why don't we put these people and start a wall, like that have had great success over the last 5-6 years. Well, then I would have to go back. And how do I judge who should in the past should be up on the wall as well? Well, make a standard. Figure it out.
I think you could look at the era and generate accurately.
Take 3 or 4 slam dunks in your high school program, guys who no one would ever argue should be in the Hall of Fame. Those guys are your committee. They're the first class. They're the committee going forward. And then eventually after that, you get people that will want to be a part of it. You know what I mean? Like maybe those initial people don't want to.
I'm going to do it in my restaurant. I have a little private room.
You should have it in your
75, and I'll do a tour. $5 at the door. You can walk inside and see a tour of New Hartford High School Hall of Famers.
That'll be you know what?
So my high school
idea sounds better than
this is a true story. My high school was very lax on that. They did Hall of Fames up until about like 19. I want to say at one point though it was like the late 70s maybe or mid 70s. They stopped, and now it was I was a head coach there my very first game as head coach, which was 2000.
Was it Hill High? Or no?
Saddlebrook.
Oh, Saddlebrook. Okay.
So very first game as head coach, is for at least the football players. They did other sports eventually, but for the football players, they basically did a whole catch up from like 1980 to I want to say the end of the 90s, and inducted. It must have been about 20 guys. I was one of them. Brought them
all on the field and everything.
Yeah. So this is the funny part. So it's my first game as head coach. My team is young, very young. So we go up and they're going to do it at halftime. We go up, we score right away. Like literally the first play of the game. Everyone's like, oh, he's going to be great. and then the other team reels off about 30 straight points to go up at halftime, 30-7. My first head coaching game ever.
And then you got to go in the Hall of Fame.
I got to go in the Hall of Fame at halftime onto the field. This is a true story. I get on there. I couldn't tell you when they called my name, who called it. I know, all I know is I must have shook their hand, took my award, and I don't have the award because I think I dumped it in the garbage when I got into the when I got into the locker room because I'm so mad that we're losing. So all these guys are happy to see, you know what I mean? Like it's two generations of guys who are all known as like the best players.
Yeah.
And I shake their hands, but like there's people I hadn't seen in a long time. And I'm thinking, the only thing I keep thinking to myself is I need to get into that locker room. I need to talk to these guys because we're so bad. Yes. We're so bad.
Well, Frank's been through that too. Through similar situations. I believe the first one was the breaking of the locker to get a kid's helmet out.
Yes.
That was one of a kind.
Bus is leaving any second, and we can't get in this kid's locker. Get his helmet. He forgot his helmet. He left it in the locker. It's locked. Can't get into it. Combination doesn't work. He can't get into it. So we're like, we got to find a custodian. We can't find a custodian. There.
It's Friday. They're all gone.
Next thing you know, I got pipes, whatever I could find in the coaching office, and we are smashing the hell out of this locker to get the helmet out of the locker. That's number one. Then number two,
did it work?
It worked. Oh hell, I ripped that shit apart, Dave. I don't hold back when I got to get something. I had to get that right. We got a game. We need a helmet. We can't borrow a helmet from somebody else. It doesn't. Doesn't work like that.
Doesn't work like that.
But the other one that was with me was talk about trying to get being honored and all that. Or so Cully comes into the locker room. We're at our rival, our crosstown rival playing a game. And Cully brings Uwe Osunde, right?
I brought Uwe, yeah.
Yeah, so Uwe came to the game, and he started watching the game. And I'm like, we're trying to impress him and all that. I got a UConn guy here. He's in NFL camp. Everyone's crazy. This is great. We're down like 21-0 at the half, and it was ridiculous. We couldn't stop anything.
The first play of the game, we intercepted and returned it for a touchdown.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. It was 21-7 or 28-7.
He was excited.
I forgot about the Brandon Miziak return it. You're right. I thought we had a chance. Kid picked a slant ball and went back like 40 yards. We scored. And the rest of the whole half was atrocious. So I go to the locker room, and I know we were talking about this before. I go into the locker room, and Uwe and Steve are in the back of the room, and then we got all the kids are huddled up, all that. And I'm losing my mind slowly but surely. But I'm like, this kid said that there's two guys blocking him. This guy's got two guys blocking him.
That's the funniest thing ever.
This kid, you got two guys blocking you. I go, how many effing guys are on the field? 20 guys. So I take my fist and I put it through the chalkboard, one of those big chalkboards, that's on wheels and a stand. And the board goes over. I fly down on the board. My fist is through the board. I pull it back out. I yell something indiscriminately for like 5 seconds. And then the offensive coach didn't even get a chance to say anything. We just all ran right back out in the field right now. They were more scared of me than they were the other team. It was ridiculous. But that's that proving point that I think that really showed me like where I stand. I'm on the low man on the totem pole.
Well, we won the last sectional championship. We still have that to our name.
We're the only team to get to the state playoffs.
We're like the Miami, the 72 Dolphins. We can still toast to that.
We can.
We still can.
Yep.
So this was quite the crazy week in football overall. We did talk about I think we talked about Daniel Jones, his benching, but his being released, I don't know that we necessarily saw coming, but you got to be a little surprised by that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't think he'd be released. I wouldn't think he'd be on the scout team. I understand the injury clauses in the contract, and they kind of just don't want to fumble around with that because they don't want to have to dump extra money. They're already dumping enough money. So do I understand it? Yes. But it just shows the feebleness, the futility of this franchise, top to bottom, ownership down. You're telling me the owner's not going to step in and go, hey, you know what? We shouldn't release this guy right now. We should keep him. We should do something with him, but we can't just dump him straight outright. It makes us look like fools. And the general manager, I mean, how bad has he looked all season? And that guy's gone. The head coach, Dable, he'll be gone. They don't turn to, and I understand why again, but they don't turn to Drew Lock for the first game. They turn to Tommy DeVito.
right?
Which is a
Tommy,
great rallying cry there, because he went 3-3 the year before, but nobody knew who he was. Nobody scouted him. They probably had no clue what he could do. But Drew Lock, you're paying that guy, I don't know, $4 or $5 million. He's the backup all year. Now he's number 2 to the number 3 guy.
Yeah, that's the way they did it.
It's just this franchise has put a gun to its head, played Russian roulette, but there were 6 bullets in the cylinder. You know what I mean? They shot themselves to death.
No, they did for sure. It's disappointing to see, but it was also funny to see the Minnesota Vikings pick him up right away.
Why wouldn't they?
Right away they pick him up.
Why wouldn't they?
And he's a competent backup for Sam Darnold. And I think with the weapons around him, he could absolutely be resurrected.
Well, don't they have Nick Mullins as the number 2?
Well, yeah, they put Jones on the practice squad.
Right. So, I mean, I think, Nick Mullins, I think, is a competent backup. But, give Jones a couple weeks to get down the playbook a little bit and get some kind of a standard rhythm. That's a guy that can step in right away and win games.
No, I fully agree with that. I fully agree that with the weapons around him, especially Minnesota, it's going to be a completely different atmosphere and a completely different story.
Yeah, and he wanted to go to a contender anyways. It wasn't like he wanted to go to any team. So Minnesota makes logical sense.
And he cleared waivers. They're paying him $360,000. I mean, where do you go wrong?
No.
His guaranteed money is all paid out. Why not?
Right.
Why not take a flyer on him? Sam Darnold, if he keeps doing what he's doing, great. If he doesn't, they have somebody competent that they can go to that they know is capable of winning. Dave, were you surprised that he was picked up that quickly?
No, who wouldn't pick him up as a backup? I mean, come on.
It was a first round.
The Giants, absurd. See, that's people wonder how the Vanderbilts blew all their money. Third generation, the next generation after Vanderbilt, after Cornelius Vanderbilt, built it up even bigger. Then the next generation proceeded to blow all of it. So that's basically what happens in everything business wise. And Mara and Tish are doing their very best to slowly but surely destroy the organization.
It's just sad that now they don't have Barkley or Jones. They let them both go. So there was arguments over keeping Jones, arguments over keeping Barkley.
Should have kept both actually at the time. That would have been
they could have. And here we are 2 weeks later, and they're both gone.
They have nothing.
They
have nothing. They have a first round draft pick at wide receiver who seems to be a little promising.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I know.
That's it. And if you got Tyrone Tracy, you want to count him in the mix as showing something, but he's not. I mean, what has he shown us? 5 games, 6 games?
Is he anything special?
No, right. They have no linemen. Their defense is terrible. They let their best defensive back go too.
Well, yeah, they did, and they've tried to plug this guy in to make him the starter, and it hasn't exactly worked out.
This guy, if you want to ruin something, Joe Shane should be the first guy you would call.
That's what I don't understand.
He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. But I mean, literally, talk about burning the boats. I mean, he burned everything in New York. This is not just a
playoff team 2 years ago.
Exactly. This isn't a 1 or 2 year rebuild for. I'm telling. This could probably set them back.
I'm just curious why Mara didn't step in on this at all at some point.
The Maras.
Maybe he just doesn't care that much, or I don't.
Well, no, they've traditionally been hands off with their staff.
Off. Rome is on fire.
They don't micromanage.
And micromanage the entire city.
You do have to manage, though. The word, if you subtract the word micro, you still have to manage.
What is it, Mara? What is it? What's their name? Waltz?
Yeah.
The state is burning down, and they're just like, let it go. It doesn't matter.
Well, okay. So I don't know the structure of the NFL. When you come in on Mondays, if you're a head coach, do you have a meeting with the general manager first? And then,
every day you have meetings. Basically, almost every day you're probably talking. In one way or another, you're conversing every day.
Okay.
He wants updates from you. You want updates from him.
Right.
He's your, as a coach, he's your lifeline. He's bringing in players.
Yeah.
Granted, you're going to discuss who, I would hope, Yeah, probably that's what happened in New York too. Dable was just sitting there with his thumb up his ass, and Shane's bringing in all these different guys. Let's try this guy. Let's try this guy. Without approval. But I doubt that happened. But normally there's a discussion about bringing in players. Even the position coaches have some kind of a say on a guy.
Yeah,
but the owner's the owner. Yeah. He's paying for all this.
Yeah,
he could go in at any time and pull the plug.
That's what Dave and I were talking about. Jerry Jones, he can do whatever the hell he wants because he owns a team.
Right.
He can screw off, and they're in the position they're in, and it's just it blows my mind to see the NFC East in that state where the Giants are as dismal as they are, and the Cowboys.
The Giants franchise this is nothing new to New York.
Well, they won 2 Super Bowls.
They won 2 Super Bowls. Okay, great.
2007, 2011,
and they've had many. They've had many a shitty year. Many a shitty year.
They have.
And they said they were the laughing stock of the NFL at certain points. So this isn't new to the franchise.
I would argue
this isn't like the Patriots
stock of the NFL.
Really,
the Jets were the
stock of the
NFL,
really. So you're saying in the late 70s,
okay,
the middle to late 70s, the Giants were. Well, it's a franchise, right? It's a franchise, right? It counts forever, right?
Everything. Joe Pasaric thing,
everything counts forever, doesn't it? You don't. Now all of a sudden you're DEIing away like 30 years of Giants shitty history.
It's DEI.
Bring back Y.A. Tittle.
Y.A. Tittle. That's right.
It was Joe Pasaric who had the fumble.
Pasargic. Yes. Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is
we were very bad.
Was that with Ray Perkins as
Yeah, Alabama
coach.
Ray.
Yeah.
So, but when you're looking at it right now, you're looking at a franchise that's had many more downs than ups. You can't be surprised by this. If you're surprised by anything in the NFC, be surprised at the dismal 25-year record of Washington.
Yeah.
Not reaching anywhere. One playoff appearance in, I don't know, it was 17 years. Or
but they've steered the ship.
Well, eventually, what did they have to do? They had to get rid of their effing owner.
Well, and they
had to dump them. Right.
Finally got a
quarterback. But it's not just a quarterback. It's an entire time. If you listen, since
it's organization
from 2019 until 2023, every first-round draft pick of the Washington Redskins, I'm not saying Commanders, every first-round pick has now been cut.
I just saw your linebacker.
Right, gone. The guy from Kentucky. They could have took Najee Harris. I begged them to take Najee Harris.
I know.
And all these jerk-off experts online, Dave, all these experts online. I'm saying take Najee Harris, man. He's a fantastic back. We need a back. And Gibson's not the answer. No. What are you talking about? This linebacker Kentucky is crazy. They need a linebacker and all. You don't know what you're talking about. No, I pick safe picks. I want a guy that has a proven track record, and I want him to be able to fill the slot that we need. And they needed a running back.
No, they did.
And it was idiotic moves. But think about this. Think about how bad the Dan Snyder and Ron Rivera era were in Washington. But there's worse era. As bad as before that.
They won a league. They won a division title in 2020.
Every one of Ron Rivera's number one picks are gone.
They're all gone.
All gone.
Well, I mean, that tends to happen when a new regime comes in.
This has happened over the course of 3 or 4 years. They brought him in and then either dumped him, traded him. Young, Montez Sweat, the kid from Kentucky.
I
mean, bottom line, they've every first. You can't hold on to one first-round draft pick in 5 years.
Well, don't you think they should have kept Chase Young or Montez Sweat?
One of the two they should have, but again, that's idiotic ownership.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Allowing that to happen.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
But what I'm saying is, so if you want to look at laughing stuff, look at Washington as far as being the Giants have been bad, but the Giants have been good too. They've had their years. But it all goes back. I've said this 1,000 times. In the beginning, you were a little leery of what I'm saying, but now I think you understand. It's a total front office blunder when you lose on the field.
Well, I think that the fact that they've gone to more, Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they have too many cooks in the kitchen all around as far as coaching staff, the scouting department, player personnel. There's way too many people involved. And when you have way too many people involved, nothing gets done. I think
who has too many people involved?
I mean, everyone in the NFL. I think their staffing is huge from the coaches to the front office all the way through. There's a ton of people. Player personnel.
Not that many of them. I dealt with it. There's really not that many.
There's not that many player personnel guys.
I didn't think there are that many guys. No.
There's not that many scouts.
I'm not talking about the slappies that go.
Yeah, right.
I'm saying between scouts and there's not that many.
But the
college has way more in their staff than these guys do.
College does.
They may not have as many in the staffing department,
right?
Personnel but there is. I mean, I think those guys are the scouts are year-to-year contracts.
You said that, yeah.
They're easy to turn over if they're not doing the job. Now, obviously, good long-term ones they like, but now you may have to say to yourself, I mean, obviously everybody's gonna be gone from a Giants standpoint. I'd have to even look at their roster, their staff. I am curious because
Let's
I used
apply.
to always.
Let's get jobs.
They used to. Some of them are. Some of them aren't. To be honest, some of them aren't. If you're a director, player personnel, yes. GM, obviously, yes. Head of scouting, yes.
Yes.
The year-to-year scouting jobs depends on your seniority. Some of those guys are getting paid nothing.
So they don't get 2-year contracts or 1-year contracts.
They're 1-year deals. Like there are some guys, like if I looked at the Giants roster, personnel department. Let me see if I looked at the front office.
But like this is the first time they have gone through so many coaches in such a short time span. I mean, from McAdoo,
every year,
the Shermer, Joe Judge.
I think head coaches
never used to do that.
Yes, let's see. Football ops. Oh wow, that guy's the assistant GM. Oh,
Ray Charles,
isn't he dead?
Stevie Wonder.
Abrams have been there for a while.
Oh, Abrams is still the assistant GM.
He's the senior vice president of football operations and strategy.
Oh wow,
I have no idea what that even means.
Doing a hell of a job.
Abrams was a good guy.
Yeah, he was a good guy. He's like kind of a legend in it.
Guy. Yeah,
he's doing a great job.
Brandon Brown was a low-level guy. I used to deal with him all the time. He's the assistant GM, so he moved up fast.
Hell of a job.
I don't think that he is really. I'm shocked that he's the assistant GM. Actually,
yeah.
And then Joe Schoen, I remember him when he wasn't really anything.
Where did he come from? Was he in-house?
Disneyland.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was in-house.
So we can stop bashing the Giants.
I'm not bashing him. I'm just looking. I'm just kind of looking.
I am. You know what they need? Here's a position they need. They need the voice of reason position.
Voice of reason.
So they need the Giants.
On the website.
The Giants need to hire me. They need to hire me. I just need to be in the meetings when the general manager and head coach and owner talk. And then they make their proposals, and then I stand up and I say, absolutely not. Absolutely not. The reason I'm going to bring in reason into the whole discussion.
So you're like Judge Judy, basically.
Listen, they would be much better off with Judge Judy than what they have in that department right now.
Dave, transitioning, I wanted to ask you, what were your thoughts about the firing of the Bears head coach, Matt Eberflus? How do you say it?
He's definitely going to get fired after his blunder in the last game.
Yeah.
So,
that one didn't make sense to me. I'm not sure I understand it. Could he have run the clock out or he should have called timeout and thrown a Hail Mary?
No, he should have called timeout, had about 28 seconds on the clock.
Okay.
And then make a play, pick a play. And then if it didn't run, spike the ball and then kick a field goal if you have to.
So he tried to get on the line, run a play, and time ran out, basically.
No, he basically, the play ended.
Yeah.
The clock's running.
Right. And
he has no play for his guy. And they're standing around looking at each other. They were standing around looking at each other for at least 8 seconds.
Okay.
Then the quarterback calls the play. I'm telling you, Williams called the play.
Rolls out, throws it, runs out of time.
That's it. Great job.
Jesus.
And then, you know what? He wouldn't have got fired if he didn't go into the press conference after the game and said, yeah, I liked what we did.
Oh, yeah, he thought, yeah.
If he would have said, you know what, we just messed this up. I don't know how we messed this up. I got to review. We're going to have a meeting. We got to talk to everybody. We got to get this the shipper in the right. We're going totally in the wrong direction. I'm the head coach. I'll take the blame in this. I don't know how this happened. Instead, he went in there and goes, yeah, that was a plan. How can you do that? How can you? I mean, that's idiotic. I would have fired him right there, at the press conference.
I agree with you. And it was funny. They made him do the press conference on Friday and then fired him right after.
Because, and you know what? The GM is still there, which I don't.
Ryan Poles is a good guy.
I don't disagree on keeping him. You know why? If you look at that team, all the pieces are in place.
We talked about them.
All the pieces are in place.
Success early on.
Exactly.
They had early on.
Again, I don't have confidence in Caleb Williams as a person. Let's put it this way. I think there's a programming chip that's wrong with him. So I don't have confidence in him. But bottom line, the pieces around him to help him develop, they were all there. They made all the right moves in the offseason to bring in who they had to bring in to help. And this guy in Eberflus effed it up.
He did. No, he did.
Just like the last three. They should have kept Lovie Smith. They should have kept Lovie Smith. He was like 15 games or 20 games over 500 as a Bears coach.
They took him to a Super Bowl. I agree. Lovie Smith. The other New York team, the New York Football Jets, Aaron Rodgers he looks like he'd rather be playing Candyland than having to start at quarterback for the Jets. Like he just looks so disinterested in the franchise and maybe in football in general. Do you think, Dave, it's a situation where he'll look to play in 2025, or you think he'll call it quits?
That's what he said in the Pat McAfee show. He said he wants to play.
Yeah, he said he did. But, I mean, he's like most people are fired up to play football. Like, yeah, I'm ready to go. I love the game. I have passion for it, enthusiasm. I don't know if Rodgers has ever been that type of guy, but he doesn't show much passion.
Listen. Joe Biden wanted to still be president. Doesn't mean that he should be president. I don't
think he showed enthusiasm that he wanted to.
The offensive line for the Jets is so bad.
Atrocious.
Atrocious. Yeah. And that's why they fired Joe Biden.
I feel like Aaron Rodgers he was rolling in the beginning, then he threw the pick six, and then it's like he's just like you're right. I feel like he just has this like
he goes in the tank.
He's like, they're not blocking. What
am I gonna do?
What am I gonna do? You know what I mean? Here, take the ball.
They said it was like the 10th game or so, or 8th game.
It's like a hot potato.
Right. He failed to throw for 200 yards, which I thought.
Yeah, but again, here's where I'm going to go back again.
But his numbers are pretty good.
The line is bad.
Yes.
But I think the scheme is bad.
Yes.
If you can't block with 5, you need 6. If you can't block with 6, you need 7. Yeah. You got a Hall of Famer back there. He's immobile.
Protect him.
He's still got an arm. He still, I think, can make throws.
I'm receivers.
He's got
running back.
How many more receivers you got to get for him during the year?
Lazard,
right.
I agree.
You got a running back.
So run the ball, run a little play action. Give him 7. Give him 7 all the time, and then leak out the back, and at the end it'll be 6.
Yeah,
late.
You can check release. I agree.
But you know what? That's scheme. That's arrogance. It's all these pro guys. These pro guys
want to get 5 out.
I sat in pro meetings, and I'm watching for offensive line. Because I coached O-line, D-line. I coached coordinator too, but O-line, D-line. That's where I make my living. And I sit in these meetings, and we get these pro guys that come in, and they'll do a clinic, and I'm looking at them like, Jesus Christ, can you make it more confusing? Can you make it more confusing? They make it confusing. No, it's too confusing. It's too confusing.
You pick a mic or whoever you're working to.
I understand that.
And you slide,
I understand that too. But one side is slide, one side is man. They never full slide the line. Why don't they full slide the line?
Because you don't want to put the back on an end.
You don't need to put the back on an end. You have tight ends. You have 300-pound tackles you could put in. There's a lot of different schemes you can run to do that and to stop inside pressure. And they don't do it that way. But that's just one facet of it. I look at it. I don't understand. It's not that difficult. It's difficult because all those guys are pros and they all run 4.4. So
I don't think it's
stopping that either. But they make it too difficult. I can't stand it anymore.
It depends on the team. It depends on the team. But most teams have.
But most of those teams, all those guys, they're pros, man. All those guys are the best of the best.
The bottom line is the player today, include even the offensive linemen who are probably among the smarter as far as understanding scheme. The players today, you've got to be able to enable them for them to play fast. You can't put them in situations. You know, the old Gruden, like whatever the fuck is 9,000 thing call. You got to simplify it, and
it's awful.
You got to lessen. You got to lessen. The more it becomes for the offensive line, okay, especially for the offensive line, the more it becomes about thinking. They got guys that run 4-4 over them.
Yep.
Like they got to be able to know who they're blocking and who they have to pick up if something happens, and that's it, because they got guys that are faster than them to begin with. And what are you going to do with Micah Parsons to begin with when he lines up over you? You know what I mean? That's going to be a nightmare. They're already thinking to themselves.
They create matchup problems.
They're already thinking, I got to get the hell out of there as fast as I can, no matter what the hell our blocking scheme is. And all of a sudden, they do a loop, and the guy walks. He's blocking Micah. The guy walks right in. You know, so there's all these kind of things that they have to make it a little bit. But I don't know if they can, because most of the pro guys, for the most part, have learned from other pro guys. That's kind of the system. College to pro has not always been translatable, so that's part of the issue. But what you really need is the guys in the pros who know how to relate to the players, which they know how to do better than maybe college guys do, with an understanding of the college schemes, because that's what these guys are coming. High school schemes are simpler. College, the schemes are simpler. The pros, I'm sure they've dumbed it down a lot over the years, but it still has to, I think it still has a ways to go. And the other thing is they got to stop bringing in quarterbacks that try to be Patrick Mahomes. Okay?
Well, the argument is
Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. Period. Right. End of story. He can get away with whatever the F he wants to do.
Yeah, no, I get that.
But nobody else can.
But don't you think it should be on the quarterback to call the protection? Because some teams have the center call it. And I think the quarterback should be the one to call the protection where he wants it big and where he wants the slide to come from.
I think the quarterback should be a correction of the protection.
Okay. So they should call it in the huddle.
So whatever the protection is for X play.
Yes.
If
he sees
something, he should make the correction of the protection, especially just in case the linemen are engaged or don't look up or whatever. He makes the correction. The center echoes it. That's my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's where I disagree. See, I think you got listen, 2 backs in the backfield. Your 5 linemen. You can run whatever blitz you want. I've got it covered.
Well, you're covered, yeah.
I've got it covered. But see, the problem is they go empty or they go 6 and they release the back fast.
Yeah.
You got nothing. If I'm playing the Cowboys, Dave, I run 2 backs in the backfield. I chip on Micah Parsons all the time, and then the backside back's a spy. That's it, and then release like that's it, and I'm good.
Yeah.
They don't think they can get receiver when they got to send 3 receivers out. They don't think those guys can get open. Obviously,
yeah, the route combinations.
Because
but
they think.
But if you eliminate half the field,
if you play zone behind it, I think you can protect long enough for those receivers to find holes in the zone.
Yeah, but listen, man's man.
What if they play man? What if they play man?
Man is tougher. Man is a lot tougher
because they're going to have an extra guy over the top, right?
Yeah.
So
it's man under 2 deep. That's
right. Fine. But that's where to eliminate that man over. To eliminate everything's a crossing route.
Well, yeah, you got to have man beater.
Exactly. There's an answer for everything if you just make it simple. But they got too much crap. I don't know. For me, it's
a lot of window dressing. It is a lot of crap.
It is.
I agree with that. The next thing I wanted to ask about was the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills, I still think I think they may be the best team in football.
I love them.
I mean, I just think they're so dynamic. They're running the ball well. Josh Allen, complete difference maker. He easily will throw for 30-plus touchdowns this year if he just stays healthy. I like their running back, Cook. I thought he's done a nice job. And they are, I think they're better than Kansas City. I know Kansas City has won and struggled winning, but Buffalo just seems like they're on a different level.
They look good, and listen, they did it the right way. Look at they lose
Stephon Diggs
and Gabe Davis,
and they
come back and fill holes right away.
And they draft. Yeah, they
fill the holes. Shakir's there. Coleman, they drafted. Coleman's coming along now. He's starting to wake up a little bit. But bottom line, I thought that was going to be one question mark. I didn't think they would have the weapons offensively at the wideout spot to give him targets, but
they hammered San Francisco.
He makes a difference by running around back there, buying an extra second of time, being a real. I mean, guy's another back. He's another running back in the backfield.
Yeah,
he gives that offense that dynamic that I really don't think it matters who you plug in there.
Right.
Eventually they'll be open because someone's scrambling around trying to get that guy down.
Because they're going to get
So I mean, and last night was fun to watch. It wasn't fun to watch for me because Christian McCaffrey going down. I got on my fantasy team, so that's it again.
I feel bad for him.
Yeah, I do. I do feel bad.
What was the injury?
I think they said it was a PCL.
They put him back on IR. Yeah,
he's done for the year.
That.
So yep. So
see, when you try to rehab, when you have that Achilles, the leg is like a funny thing.
He had the hamstring
right up the leg, dude. It goes right.
Yep.
One thing, then you compensate this and like goes right up the leg. It's like, you know when you injure your knee as an adult, your hip's coming next. Like like it's inevitable. It's inevitable.
Well, I never thought that the 49ers would be as bad as they are without him. Well, I thought they would have enough to be serviceable.
They do in a way, but you got to realize it wasn't just him that went down. I mean, at periods of time, they had 3-4 starters on the DL.
Yeah, you're right.
And defensive starters too. So between the offense and defense, they were never full.
Yeah.
And that in the NFL, that makes a difference, man. When you got to go number 2 on your chart, or when you got to start bringing guys up from the practice squad, it makes a difference.
It shows. Yeah. It definitely shows. And then the surprise for me, I wanted to ask about, Dave. Philadelphia goes in and beats Baltimore. I didn't see that one coming at all. Philly's been playing great. But last year they started 10-0 and then the wheels began to come off. But this year is completely different. And I obviously think it goes to Saquon Barkley being there, making a difference. But going and beating Baltimore 24-19, I thought was big. And Jalen Hurts, he didn't do he wasn't incredible. 11-19. 118 yards, 1 touchdown. Lamar Jackson, 23 of 36, 237, 2 touchdowns. Derrick Henry had 82 yards. And then again, Saquon Barkley, 23 carries, 107 yards, and a touchdown. So that was a surprise for me. I did not think Philly was on Baltimore's level.
Well, Philly's 10-2. So
yeah. But they were 10-0 last year too, and then they collapsed. So I thought Baltimore would be light years ahead of them, because Baltimore just seems like the king.
You got to realize, the 2 losses were early in the season. A lot of questioning whether Sirianni is the right fit as a head coach. They didn't know.
Yeah,
they thought the locker room dynamics was really off. There's something going on there. They should be better and all that. And something just woke them up. Is it Saquon Barkley? I don't know. I think Saquon Barkley kept their head above water.
Yes.
Right? Until they finally found all of the pieces to put the car back together. And I think that's what they have right now. They've gone from a Hyundai to a Porsche. And right now, I think they're firing on all cylinders. I wasn't as surprised. The Eagles are on a roll. They look good. They have the talent at most positions on the field right there to be able to compete with anybody in the NFL. So it's
just surprising that your quarterback passes for 118 yards and you win.
Well, hey, I mean,
he got the best running back in football.
Right. Yeah, we got the best running back in the NFL. Yeah, and did you see the tackle by Cooper DeJean there, the D-back for Philly on Derrick Henry? Oh my God! Talk about textbook. He picked him up, double legged, 2 hands behind the back of the knee. They picked him up and slammed him. Oh my God! It's fantastic. And I love Derrick Henry. I thought that was
that's how you
just a
stop
great
a big
play.
guy. That's it right there.
Yeah, you got to go. Got to take the legs out. You're right.
So Baltimore drops to 8-5. Philly's 10-2, which really means the NFC East probably is going to get 2 teams in. It's going to come down to Philly and your Redskins.
Yes.
And Baltimore is in that tough AFC North, but the Bengals have been disappointing. However, the Steelers have come alive.
They're 10-2.
Russell Wilson rejuvenated them. Now there's talks about whether they should extend him to a longer contract. Do you give him another 1-year deal? Do you give him 2 years? Do you give him 3 years? What do you think about that, Dave, with Russell Wilson, how they should handle his contract situation? Well, I mean, you're clearly not going to do what the Broncos did and give him 5 years, but I think maybe a 3-year contract is warranted.
I don't know. I mean, he's having a phenomenal year. He seems to be a great fit. He threw for 414 yards yesterday. I would go as far as to say, I don't know. I mean, I'm not huge on these long-term deals.
Yeah, I'm not either.
But
I think if they go 2 years and give themselves
2 years is probably a good deal.
Yeah.
But, I mean, why wouldn't you sign a 2-year deal? You sign a 2-year deal for a lot of money, and then, you get most of it guaranteed, and they'll probably be more willing to give you more guaranteed if it's 2 years.
I mean, Dave, why? I don't think they have to push more than 2. I agree on that totally. Because bottom line,
2 with an option.
Why? All right. So if you're Russell Wilson, you're looking to go somewhere else for a 3 or 4 year deal. Who's going to give you? Well, first of all, where's the fit going to be?
Well, the Giants maybe.
Nah.
No.
Giants want a total clean slate. You're not bringing a 36-year-old guy for a clean slate.
Okay.
But bottom line, the fit is correct in Pittsburgh right now. The running game allows him to do what he does best, right? And then also on the Pittsburgh Steelers side, he's not going to go anywhere. He wants to be here. He's comfortable here. We'll drop you 2, and then we'll talk. So I think the 2 is a perfect fit.
Yeah, I agree. I think 2 with an option for a 3rd. But kudos to the Steelers for their turnaround. We are going to segue into college football, which was a bit of a wild and crazy weekend, I would say. And we can start with the upset of the Michigan Wolverine.
To be a Michigan Wolverine. It's great to be. Holy crap.
Nobody saw that coming.
No.
Nobody saw Michigan. Like everyone thinks that Connor Stallions left an envelope for Sharon, the head coach of Michigan, with a few maybe suggestions or answers.
He didn't have to. Harbaugh just left a note. Harbaugh just left a note that said, run it down their throat. They can't stop it. Ohio State soft. Good luck.
So
but it was a bad game though overall. Like, didn't you think it was a bad game?
Well, it was a defensive struggle. There were multiple mistakes by both quarterbacks. I thought
I don't think Michigan has a quarterback.
Well, they don't. He threw for 40 yards.
62
yards, threw for 62 yards. I mean, but it was 10-man football. It was like single wing. But bottom line, I don't understand how Ohio State can't put a few more points on the board. I understand Michigan's decent. They're not great. They had a rough spot. They've recuperated towards the end of the season, look a lot better. But that's not a great Michigan team offensively, especially offensively, but defensively as well. I don't understand at all the mentality of Ohio State right now. You're at home. You're the number 2 team in the country. You have the parts. The only guy who wasn't surprised was Kyle McCord of Syracuse. He knew, they got rid of me. All right, buddy. Let's see how far you go with what you got now.
Will Howard.
Yeah, Will Howard. He had a tough day.
19 for 33, 175, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. They didn't run the ball particularly well. They had Judkins ran for 46 yards, no touchdowns. They had 2 costly turnovers. And I believe they had more than that. but one of the turnovers was very costly.
23.5 point favorites.
Yeah, it was the largest Michigan upset since 1978.
Okay, the guy has had a tremendous record at Ohio State since being there, but he can't beat Michigan. Ryan Day, is he there or not next year?
I think he's there.
Yeah, he's there.
I agree.
They're still in the college football playoffs.
They're in a bind that he wins too much. Like, if you replace him, who do you replace him with?
Right.
Now you're in this, like, I don't know.
No, it's a conundrum. It's a
He's
trap.
not going to get them there, so they're not going to get there.
I mean, next year they're at Michigan. That could be...
You keep forgetting Ohio State could still very easily win the national championship.
Oh, get serious.
They're going to the playoffs.
I don't know, man.
They're going to the playoffs.
I don't see it.
Anything can happen in the playoffs.
There's no mental fortitude in that game last week.
I agree. But Ohio State this has happened before, where they've lost and rebounded. They lost to Michigan and came back and went to the national championship game 2 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know. That's beyond me.
It's possible, and with the expanded 12 teams. They're in for sure. So there's no question there. Now, I think they're going to beat Penn State.
Yeah.
Because Penn State does not play well in big games.
No.
So
Penn State doesn't play them.
It's not Penn State, Ohio State in the Big Ten champion.
No,
it's Oregon.
Penn State, Oregon.
Right.
Penn State, Oregon. So
I thought you were talking about playoffs. If they see Penn State,
they're going to get an extra week off, not having to play in the championship game.
So if they lose in the championship game and they have 3 losses, they're out of the NCAA playoffs, right?
That's what I'm saying. Ohio State is not in the championship game, but they're still going to get an at-large bid for the playoffs.
Okay.
They're just going to get a lower seed, but they'll still get a home playoff.
Wait, so the Big Ten championship is Penn State, Oregon?
Yeah, Oregon's number 1.
Oh, it is Penn State, Oregon. I'm sorry. Yeah, right, because Ohio State's 2 losses. Okay.
So Oregon is obviously going to put it on Penn State.
Yeah.
Like I don't think Penn State comes close to matching up with.
I just want to see how big the point spread is. If it's really juicy, then maybe I'll put some money on Penn State. But yeah, no, I don't see that happening.
What are the 12 teams that should get in?
Well, they're debating that right now. I was just looking at the
like let's say SEC
projections.
Let's say SEC championship. Let's say Georgia's in. If Georgia loses, they're out of the NCAAs. They'll have 3 losses.
Yeah, they would be out.
Is 3 losses kind of the break?
No,
break mark?
It's never happened before where teams with 3 losses have gone to UConn went to a BCS bowl with 4 losses, but other than that, so here
Oregon's in.
It's
Texas
Oregon.
Texas is in.
Yeah.
Notre Dame.
Penn State's in. Notre Dame's in.
Yeah.
For sure. Yes.
For sure.
And
SMU's gonna. SMU has a conference game.
SMU has to win the ACC.
They have the ACC championship game left. That's it, right?
Yeah.
They're going against Clemson.
Clemson.
Possibly. So they have a 42%.
But Indiana is Indiana in?
Indiana has a 99% chance of getting in.
I think they're in. Yeah.
All right. So Indiana's 5. Boise, if they win, they'll be in. That's 6.
Boise has a 68% chance of getting in.
Right.
If they win their conference championship, they're in. So that'll be
correct.
6.
Yes.
Okay. Now you have 6. Arizona State.
Tennessee's not even on the list.
Arizona State will be in. They're 9-2, 10-2 right now.
Yeah, Arizona State has a 43% chance of getting in. Boise,
do they have
Clemson
a conference championship in their
Big 12?
Yes. It's
so who are they playing?
I'm looking
in the Big 12. I'm trying to think.
I think it's Iowa State. They're playing
Iowa State. Okay.
Yeah.
So if they win, they'll be in.
Yes.
Well, Iowa State or Arizona State will be in. Either one of them.
Correct. Not both.
So that's 7. What about BYU?
BYU has a 15% chance of getting in.
Okay.
I don't know if they're playing for the Mountain West title or not.
I would assume
that would be against.
But I don't know who that would
BYU's
be.
not in the Mountain West, aren't they in the ACC?
No, maybe it's BYU in Boise State for the Mountain West Championship.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because
isn't realignment awesome? It's garbage.
I can't even remember. I don't even know what conference these teams are in anymore.
That's the problem.
So
BYU's in the Big 12, so they're out because because Iowa State's playing Arizona State.
Oh, okay. That's why they're saying they have a 12% chance of getting in. A 15% chance. Okay. South Carolina has a 21% chance. The U still has an outlier of a 24% chance.
That's not going to happen.
And then from the group of 5, the only team that has a chance is UNLV, which is a 28% chance.
Tennessee has nothing up. What about Alabama?
No, Tennessee does. Tennessee has a 42% chance.
And what about Alabama?
30%.
Right.
30%.
UNLV is 10-2. It's unbelievable.
Isn't it crazy that Syracuse beat them?
Yeah. Yeah. If Syracuse did beat them, that wouldn't have, but they lost. The loss that killed them was the loss to Tulane.
Syracuse?
No.
Oh, you mean UNLV. Right. So you lose to Syracuse and Tulane. How does that happen?
Syracuse, Tulane is 9-3.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I don't know who is playing in that championship game, the AAC.
So Georgia's probably going to get in. That's 8.
Who does Georgia have in the SEC championship? Texas, right?
Georgia's a 99% chance to get in, and I believe it is Georgia Tech.
But Georgia has 2 losses, though, right?
But they'll get in. They'll get in.
Yeah, they
so
won't penalize them for
third loss in the championship game. Okay.
Yeah. So
they're saying
if they had lost to which they should have. If
Georgia
they had
Tech.
Lost to Georgia Tech, that game was phenomenal. By the way,
that game was insane.
People still think that hurt him, that it was so close, but
but he won.
Yeah, but G-Tech's not a bad team.
No,
G-Tech's not a bad team.
They've improved, and like people think South Carolina has righted the ship after a tough start. The U, if Clemson were to win, they think that the U would have a chance to get in. That's what they're banking on. If SMU, that would mean like if SMU loses, then someone like Indiana or Penn State, someone else would get knocked out.
SMU has 1 loss?
No, and SMU's undefeated.
So
no, they have a loss. They have 1 loss.
Yeah.
Oh, they do?
I would think so.
Yeah, they lost to BYU.
Oh, there we
go. Okay. I thought they were undefeated, but they're undefeated in the conference, right?
ACC?
Yeah.
Yeah. They killed Pittsburgh. They beat Duke.
Jeez.
They beat Boston College. They beat Virginia. They beat Cal. They beat Louisville. I don't even know what conference Louisville's in. They beat Stanford. They beat Stanford.
Right.
They clobbered Florida State, they clobbered TCU. Yeah, I mean they're pretty damn good. Let's go Ponies.
Yeah, I just can't picture them in the ACC. That's my problem. I don't get it.
I want them back in the. And there's no more cheating anymore, so it's not even fun with the SMU because they do better than anybody. They're the best cheaters of all time.
I wish Colorado had a chance. Colorado is out.
Well, they've got three losses.
Yeah, they're 9-3.
Yeah, no.
But I mean, like Iowa State is 10-2, and they're ranked 16th. Ole Miss is 9-3, and they're ranked 15th. The U is 10-2 and ranked 14th, and South Carolina is 9-3 and ranked 13th.
Miami's defense is atrocious. Not just because of the Syracuse game. Think about every game they play. It's atrocious.
And Ohio State dropped 5 spots to number 7. So it's Oregon, Texas, Penn State, and Notre Dame after their loss to Northern Illinois.
I can tell you what right now, there's going to be some good bowl games. There will be. There are going to be some good bowl games that have nothing to do with the 12-team playoff.
Syracuse is 23rd in the country. They're ranked. They're 9-3.
Dave, Kyle McCord.
Army's 10-1.
First round draft pick, somewhere in the first round.
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, who are the quarterbacks that are going in the first round?
It's just Sanders is the only one I can think of.
Sanders, and this Myers.
The Oregon quarterback will go.
Is he a senior? Yeah.
I don't believe so.
But he's going to go. Who else is there?
Quinn Ewers.
Quinn Ewers are going in the first round.
Well, and who's going to win the Heisman?
How about Notre Dame's quarterback?
No, I don't.
That's Leonard. That's Leonard. That's the running kid from Duke.
Georgia's quarterback's going to go.
Carson Beck.
Yep. Beck will go.
Yeah. There's 5 or 6.
He's probably the 5th guy.
Yeah, I think McCord's. You know
Ole Miss's quarterback Dart is going to go.
Yeah.
He's going to go.
I think McCord. I mean, he's a drop back quarterback, man. He's exactly what NFL scout or NFL GM would be looking for to plug in and play. He's had great successes this year. Obviously, what's he got passing? Does he have 4,000 yards?
Who?
McCord, or is it 30? It's in the threes, right?
Yeah, he was in the threes.
He's in the threes. He's probably got 25, 26 TDs. Everything.
No, he was
in the 30s for TDs too.
He's probably got 30 TDs now, and he had 12 interceptions.
I mean,
I don't know.
Kyle McCord is thrown for 4,326.
Oh, yeah. That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
He's number 1. Number 2 is Cam Ward. He might go in.
Cam Ward, yeah.
4,123. Third is Sanders, 3,926. Then Jackson Dart, 3,875. Then Chandler Morris. It must be Chad Morris's son.
But they said overall it's not a great quarterback.
Nussmeier's going to go also in the draft.
Yeah, I don't think he's that good.
I don't think he's that great. No, I agree.
No, for Cam Ward, Dave, have you seen him play at all? Have you watched him play?
A little bit, just highlights.
I think he has the fastest release in college football for a quarterback.
Okay. Yeah.
I do think his mechanics are a little off, but I think he has the fastest release. I mean, to me, that plays a big part. And if I'm a general manager, I'm looking, I need a quarterback on my team. I need a quarterback that gets that ball off. I don't need a guy who has a long slinging release, unless I got the best line in football, So, I mean, I think he would fit with somebody, So I still think McCord's up there with 4 or 5 top quarterbacks to be picked, which is
I agree, but
surprising, but not.
They've labeled this a poor quarterback draft class. So it's going to be interesting to see who ends up going there.
When they label a great quarterback draft class, what do you get?
Well,
right. Sometimes you get nothing.
Last year was allegedly a great quarterback,
right? And the rookie of the year will be Bo Nix if it's not Bowers from the Raiders.
Jaden Daniels will turn it around.
He's not having a bad. But I'm just saying, if you're looking at overall, I mean, here's the guy that was the last one picked, and no one really thought anything of him.
Is Milroe going to get picked high?
That I don't know. That's a great question.
Yeah, he's been up and down. He's been very kind of inconsistent.
Yeah.
Listen, I would take a flyer on him. I would, depending on how high you have to take him. But man, that's the thing. Some of these guys, why wouldn't they change position eventually? Let's say you can't make it as a quarterback.
They won't. It's
but let's say you can't make it as a quarterback. You tell me I can't put Milroe in the backfield, or I can't put Milroe wide out.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a tremendous athlete. Probably fastest guy in the field for Alabama.
No, 100%.
Everyone hates that word now. Oh, you're a great athlete.
I know, right? Yeah, terrible.
To be a good thing? Isn't that a good thing? To be a great athlete?
Dave, I would have killed for that moniker in 1988.
Oh my God!
This guy's a tremendous athlete at left tackle.
He's a horrible athlete. He's going to be a first-round draft pick at QB.
I just went to our annual rivalry game, Cortland Ithaca. I was at Cortland.
Yeah, the
Cortica Jug. So I walk in, and all the old guys we played with on the 88 team are there. Was talking to that, and my own line coach is there. This guy Craig Cheplett, great guy. I love him to death. But he's one of the symbols of the guys. He's like, there he is. Smartest offensive lineman I ever had. He's pointing to me. I'm the smartest guy he ever had. I'm like, that fucking blows. Could have been like the greatest athlete or the best left tackle ever. The smartest guy. Well, because I was a starter left tackle, but I filled in at multiple positions when guys were hurt. And so now I could. I was labeled the smart. Yeah, I could snap too. I was labeled the smartest.
There was a time being a dual threat quarterback was like a
right.
was like the most positive thing you could say about a guy. Now I want to be a pro style. Don't call me a dual threat.
Remember Cordell Stewart? Cordell Stewart was all the rage. Slash. He's all the rage.
His time.
They thought they invented the wheel when they got that guy. Now you don't know. Oh, don't want it. I don't know.
So I run a 4.540. No, I'm a pocket passer. Okay, buddy.
Yeah.
All I would just say is, you're a pocket passer.
Right.
So going into this
Don't worry about
weekend
the zone read we're running.
Games, we got UNLV at Boise State.
Yeah.
And Boise is -4.
Yeah.
Who do you like there?
I'll take Boise.
Boise?
Yeah.
And you think Boise, Dave's running back, could win the Heisman?
I think he should win the Heisman, but I think that Hunter is going to win it.
Okay.
You've got a dual threat in Hunter playing both D-back and wide out, both ways. Doesn't take a blow. Makes plays. I mean, makes big plays. He's the Heisman Trophy winner.
Okay. Just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Tulane versus Army for the AAC championship. Tulane is -6.
I have not seen Tulane play one game this year. I have seen Army. But Tulane beat UNLV.
They did.
I'll take Tulane.
Tulane's been tough. I'm going to go with Army and respect our country.
Nice call.
I will too.
Okay,
nice call.
Go with Army.
I like Army.
I guess I'm the communist. What are you gonna do?
Well, me too. So then we have Georgia, Texas.
Yeah.
Texas -2.5.
That's at Atlanta, right? That's like that's
at the Georgia Dome.
Wow.
That's
tough. I know. I'm going to take Georgia. I'm going to take Georgia in an upset, a little bit of an upset.
Yeah, I like Georgia too.
They're at home basically, being in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I still have faith in their defense.
Horns.
Yeah. Listen, I can't go against that.
Horns?
Yeah, I just think that Georgia. I watched a whole Georgia Tech game.
Well, Texas is the favorite. Yeah.
Well, I watched all 8 overtimes, and the one thing I came away with was that Georgia does not have a lot of explosive players.
Really?
So,
no, that's a good point.
I don't think they have a lot of explosive players, and I think Texas does. So, and I didn't think Georgia's defense was that good. So
I think they just got tired. They took the week off.
I think they're better than what they showed.
That's the biggest game of the year.
Biggest rivalry. I know.
Yeah, and you're right though in a way. I think their defense is still good, but look at the Alabama game. I mean, look at the run Alabama had and the points that Georgia gave up. So maybe you're right. Good evaluation though on that. Where you're right. Georgia doesn't have explosive players. Texas does. Yeah, you're right.
Penn State at Oregon. Oregon's -3.5. Big Ten championship.
I'm taking all my chips and I'm putting them on the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah.
I will not bet. Yeah. I will not bet on Penn State. Franklin just cannot win the big game.
If Oregon loses, then Frank has to open my doggy daycare.
That will be a negative.
That's you don't have faith that they're going to win. Not that much faith. That much faith to say that.
I'm the voice of reason. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. You always have it spread out to be able to balance your life.
Okay. And Clemson at SMU. SMU's -2.5. They're favored at home over Clemson. The Mustangs are back.
Well, Clemson came from insecurity. Basically, right. Basically, the start of the season was a little rough for them. They
were down. Yeah.
Now they made a nice run.
Yep. They got a little luck on their side with Miami losing. Yep.
I'll take SMU just for the hell of it. I don't even know what SMU has. I've only seen one half of them play. In the regular season. They're very explosive. I know.
They might have the most explosive player in all.
They have athletes like for miles. I would take SMU as well. I think
the best athletes that money can buy. They're
back. That oil can buy.
Dave, you like SMU as well?
I gotta root for the Pony Express.
Yeah, you got to. For all times,
SMU. Think about it. the death. They got the
They
death
got the death penalty. They got the
And they're
death
back.
penalty. And
Only
they're back
UConn
40.
gave, only one other school did it to themselves, and that's UConn. They gave themselves a death penalty in COVID.
Death penalty, and it only took them 40 years to get back, Dave.
And 40
years.
And then the last one is Iowa State versus Arizona State, and Arizona State's -2.
Yeah, being not a full alumni, I'm a Sun Devil though. I was there for a year, so I will take Arizona State. I'm surprised. I really didn't see this happening throughout the season. I watched Arizona State on Saturday because or I think it was Friday. No, it was Friday or Saturday. I think it was Saturday. No, it's Friday. I watched Arizona State because it's a rivalry game, and that's the biggest game for ASU. And they're legit. I mean, they're legit at the receiver positions, at the tailback position.
Yes, Cam Scatterbo.
Scatterbo, he is the real deal, man. He can run, and so I'll take ASU.
Mr. Schuman.
Oh, I love ASU. Love ASU.
Yeah.
And there's no better place to hang out.
There's no
oh my God!
You know this, Frank. You've been there,
and that was I was there in 1987. I can only imagine
what it's like now. It would be that.
Tempe is the place,
Tempe
man.
is.
It was. I didn't want to leave. I was forced to leave. I did not want to leave. I was forced to leave. I had no. Well, you know what it is that my parents were supposed to move to Arizona. I was going to take in-state tuition after a year.
Oh, and that would have been fine.
They couldn't move. I couldn't afford it. I had to come back. Yep.
That's right.
And then the Cortland State Red Dragon history was written.
Yeah.
Smartest guy ever on the field.
Yeah.
That's right.
Smartest guy ever. All right. Well, another banner episode of Moneyline, the best sports talk show in all of Massachusetts.
The 503?
The 508.
508.
508. Worcester. Ernie loves us. Ernie Floyd.
I still have yet to see. I don't even know what Ernie looks like.
You know what he looks like.
I do not know what he looks like.
LinkedIn.
I don't use LinkedIn.
Send him a message.
I'm still waiting for Ernie to join this show and maybe give some sporting expertise.
He's not a sports guy.
He's not a sports guy.
Not the best.
So I'm looking.
He likes college basketball. He could do college.
All right, but I'm also looking for him maybe to join Rebel Republic.
Yes, we have a great schedule on 97.9 Unity Radio. Rebel Republic coming up next. So for the voice of reason,
when can I be on Unity the Community?
We'll work.
I want to be on Unity the Community.
I'd like to be on Unity in the community.
Right.
We'll all go on Unity
as a voice of reason. I think I could bring stability to the community.
I will try to schedule a Unity in the community.
I bet you there's a lot I would agree with.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree. I'll get you on that or Black in Business. One of those.
I'm going Black in Business. That'd be great.
Absolutely.
Dave can teach him how to. Dave runs a great business, so
listen,
Dave can share his business model.
If anybody knows,
I can learn from them.
How to take a black guy in business, it's me. So bottom line, I would fit right in with the show. They would know right away.
Yeah.
They would look at me and go, that guy's been beaten down. We need to bring him in.
Yes, I agree. Absolutely.
I'm ready.
For the coach, David Schuman, we have the Rebel Republic coming up next. So I look forward to that. This has been Moneyline on 97.9 Unity Radio. Remember,
what?
Life gives you lemons.
What do?
You don't make lemonade.
Really?
No, you never want to make
a little chicken franchise?
No.
Do not plant a flag.
You don't plant a flag. No. You take 2 oranges.
Yeah.
And you